All right, let's talk about something we all think about, but maybe don't say out loud. Money. You ever wonder if you're doing okay? If you're ahead of the curve or maybe falling behind? Well, today we're gonna pull back the curtain on the real financial situation of the average person. And I'm telling you, some of these numbers are gonna be a major wake-up call.
I mean, it's a feeling we've all had, right? The paycheck hits your account, you feel good for a second, then you pay the rent, the bills, you grab some groceries, maybe you go out for dinner once or twice. You didn't do anything crazy, but then you look at your balance at the end of the month and you're just like, where did it all go? It feels like your money just vanishes into thin air.
So what does average or normal even look like when it comes to finances? We get these ideas from social media, from what our friends are doing, but that's usually a mirage. It's not the real story. So let's get into it. Let's look at the actual hard numbers.
Okay, let's start with income. The median income for a full-time worker in the US is about $52,000 a year. But here's the thing you have to remember, that is before a single dollar is taken out for taxes. Once you factor in federal, state, and local taxes, that take-home pay is often closer to 35 or 40 grand. All of a sudden, that number feels way, way different, doesn't it?
So, what are people managing to save from that take-home pay? Not much. The average personal savings rate is a tiny 6%, just 6 cents of every dollar. Think about that. At a rate that low, trying to save for a down payment or a wedding, let alone build any kind of real long-term wealth, is just incredibly difficult.
And that low savings rate leads us right to this next number. The median amount someone has in their savings account is just about $8,000. For so many people, that is their entire financial safety net. I mean, one bad car repair, one surprise medical bill, and that entire cushion, poof, it's gone.
Now this one is genuinely scary when you think about the future. The median amount saved for retirement across all age groups is only $65,000. If you use the standard 4% withdrawal rule, that would give you less than $300 a month to live on. Could you survive on that? And here's the real kicker. About 1 out of every 4 Americans has exactly $0 saved for retirement. Nothing.
So while savings are low, you know what's high? Debt. The average household that carries credit card debt has a balance of over $9,000. And with interest rates pushing past 20%, that debt acts like financial quicksand. The harder you struggle, the deeper you sink, and it becomes almost impossible to get ahead.
So why are these numbers so grim? Is everyone just bad with money?
No, not at all. It's often because people fall into these very common, very tempting financial traps that are practically designed to keep you from building wealth. Let's break down a couple of the biggest ones.
First up, the big one, the so-called American dream, the starter home. In a lot of places now, a basic, no-frills, first-time buyer house costs $500,000. But what does it actually cost you to own that house every single month? Because believe me, the sticker price is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, the math on this is just brutal. Your mortgage payment, the principal and interest, that's just the beginning. Then you have to pile on property taxes and home insurance, which is going through the roof. Then there's PMI, that's the private mortgage insurance you have to pay when you don't put 20% down. And you have to budget for maintenance because things will break. All in, your total housing cost is suddenly over $4,300 a month.
And right here, this is the most dangerous part of the whole trap. The bank might look at your finances and say, sure, we'll approve you for that mortgage with an income of 150 grand. But to actually afford that house without being stressed out all the time, to be truly comfortable, you'd really need to be making closer to $187,000. That gap between what the bank says you can do and what you can actually handle is where financial nightmares are born.
The house is a huge trap, but it's definitely not the only one. Our lives are just filled with these little ways to overspend. You know, things like always needing a brand new car, the pressure to have the latest iPhone, having 10 different streaming subscriptions. It all adds up, just bleeding your bank account dry, one small cut at a time. Oh yeah, let's talk about the new car payment. To make these expensive cars seem affordable, dealerships are now stretching loans out to 7, even 8 years. This is a classic trap. The second you drive off the lot, the car's value just plummets. But you're stuck making payments for years and years, and for most of that time, you're trapped upside down, owing more on the loan than the car is even worth. It's basically wealth destruction that comes with cup holders.
Okay, so those numbers are pretty alarming, I get it. But here's the good news. Knowing there's a problem is the first step to actually fixing it. And there is a clear, super smart blueprint for your money that can help you avoid all these traps and start building real wealth.
So,
what's step one? What's the very first thing you should do? If your job offers a retirement plan with a match, you need to capture every single penny of it. This is not up for debate. It's literally free money, a guaranteed 50% or 100% return on your investment instantly. You cannot get that anywhere else on planet Earth. Not taking it is just setting a pile of cash on fire.
This right here, this is the smartest order to put your money to work. First, build a small emergency fund, just enough to handle a surprise without derailing your life. Second, you attack high-interest debt, like it's a 5-alarm fire. Credit cards, personal loans, you have to get rid of them. Third, as we just said, contribute enough to get that full employer match. Only after you've done those 3 things do you move on. Then you can max out other accounts like an IRA or an HSA, and finally invest anything else you have left over. Look, this sequence isn't sexy or exciting, but you know what? It flat out works.
So when you boil it all down, all the numbers, all the strategies, it really just comes down to a single but very powerful choice about what you want your life to be.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Every single dollar you spend to impress someone else with a fancy car or a designer bag, whatever, is a dollar that isn't growing and working for your future self. For most of us, the appearance of wealth and the actual reality of wealth are pulling in opposite directions.
The financial reality for the average person might be pretty shocking. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be your reality. You don't have to be average. Beating these numbers doesn't require some secret Wall Street formula. It just requires being a little more intentional than the person next to you. So the choice is up to you.